Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to TechNodeFirmaCraft. So today we are going to finally get some of these quests in the casting age taken care of with armor and weapons. So first we are going to be doing the advanced weapons quest. So the first one that we had here was smithing weapons. Now that you have an anvil, you can start working metal directly into weapons. Weapons smithed on an anvil have bonus durability and damage based on your smithing skill. To use the anvil, you first need to have the metal hot enough to work. Place your hot metal into the first of the two central slots and click the plan button, which is to the right, to bring up all the possible crafts. This will give you the rules you need to follow for your final 3 moves in the craft. The craft is complete when the 2 arrows align perfectly. If you move the red arrow too far right, you will lose your metal. We recommend watching the tutorial by developer Kitty Chanley to better understand smithing. To start, you will need 2 double copper ingots and 1 single copper ingot. So I've already had that one, but we're gonna just continue on from there. So the sword is a great weapon against those zombie hordes. To forge a sword, you need to start with a double ingot. Work the heated ingot on your anvil for a bit and you will have a fine sword. Swords do slashing damage. This task will accept any sword. So I happen to have this old bronze double ingot and I'm going to be using that one. Now I also have, these have all cooled down too much. I'm going to be combining all of these copper ingots into double ingots, and I'm going to make this bronze into a sword. So, it's going to take a little bit to heat this stuff back up. I'm going to weld these copper ingots, and then I will be back when we have the stuff to actually work with here. Ow. Okay, so we've got the bronze ingot here, hot enough to make a sword out of. So we need to finish this with bend, bend, hit. So same as I've been doing always with these. I'll first get it up here to that. So then we go bend, bend, hit. And so what does it take to get that? No. So we need to be half past. This is going to be a pain. So we do have these guys. They're very hot. Bright red, I believe, is hot enough to weld. So no, it's not. Well, these guys are hot enough now. So we'll weld them together real quick. No! Damn it! This is totally a pain. There we go. There's another one. Let's set that in there. Both of those are hot enough to weld. So let's grab that bronze. Try this again. So we needed to be half off, and then it was 1, 2, that, so then bend, bend. Oh, I went the wrong direction. Okay, 1, 2, 1, bend, bend, hammer. So there we go. Bronze sword blade. So let's go ahead and drop these copper ingots back in, double ingots back in here, because we're going to need those hot in just a little bit. So now we need a stick. Quickly. And I think I'm just going to pull these guys back out for a bit so that they don't overheat. So we'll make a sword. There we go. And now we need maces. And so a mace is a weapon that does crushing damage. With a mace in hand, you can now smash those pesky skeletons into piles of dust. This task will accept any mace. So this requires another double ingot. And so once again, it's waiting to heat these guys up. Alright, so we have another double copper ingot here that we are going to be using to make the mace. So let's go ahead and do this. So we need a bend shrink hammer at the end of this one. And we need a hammer. Okay, so bend, shrink, and I'm going to use a heavy hit. So 1, 2, no. Okay, so that puts us there. Okay, so now if we do a heavy hit, a medium hit, then we can go bend. Well, no, we can't. But we should be ready to just do what we need here in just a second. Gonna throw this one back in there to reheat it. So get it just a little bit hotter for keeping its heat while it's working. Alright, that should be hot enough. So now we need the bend, shrink, heavy hit. There we go. So there's the mace head. So we will put that on a stick. There we go. Got a mace. Wrong quest. So finally we need javelins for piercing. The Stone Age javelin is reborn. Metal javelins last longer and do more damage. This task will only accept a copper javelin. Okay. So the javelin needs just an ingot. So we're going to have to heat one of those up. And while we are waiting for that, I'm going to drop these 2 copper sheets in there. And pull out this double ingot. Okay, so that's heating, so we're going to go over here to armor smithing. So, where we learn to smith armor. To start, we need to work the copper ingot down into metal sheets. So we needed 2 copper sheets. I already have that. So smithing an unfinished helmet. Now that you have copper sheets, you can work it into a copper helmet. This is the first of the 3 stages of making a helmet. So we need an unfinished copper helmet, and we will need the copper sheets hot for that. So once again, waiting. So with this copper sheet orange, we should be able to handle this. So we need to make a helmet. This finishes with bend hammer or hit. Okay, so bend, and then a heavy hit. Let's try medium. No. Okay, so medium hit, bend, heavy hit. There we go. So now, adding some metal. Now that you have an unfinished helmet, you will need to weld to it another copper sheet. So we need to reheat that. We will have to have these to the same point at the same time, and in the meantime, we are going to make the javelin head. So this finishes with a draw, hit, hit. So same thing as usual. So draw, hit, hit. So that's quite a ways off. Alright, so punch, punch. So draw, hit, hit. No. Dang it. And we're not hot enough to do this anymore. So this is very hot. This is very hot. We'll get those 2 back in there together so that they're both to the can weld stage at the same time without melting. So once again, reheating, always with the reheating. I hate smithing. Can't wait until we get into immersive engineering, and this can all be done with the press. So let's try our javelin again. So I think I need to go here. Hammer. Need to make myself a better hammer too. So that was shrink. Well, any way you look at it, I will weld this copper sheet onto the copper helmet and get that javelin head made off camera, and I will be back in a little bit. Well, I do not know what is going on. I've got a couple more quests that will not complete, so the armor smithing would not go past the unfinished copper helm, and the advanced weapons will not take the copper javelin. Now, I have the copper javelin here, I have a finished copper helmet here, and we had another quest that wouldn't complete too, and I don't remember which one that was. It was the bronze anvil. So we have 3 quests here that for some reason they're not working. So I went ahead and looked up how to complete quests without. So I had to turn cheats on here, and then you put in /HQM edit, and it will give you this quest book OP edition. So in here we can hold shift and click on quests to automatically complete them or reset their progress. So shift click, so these 3 are completed and they will show up as completed in our regular quest book now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this book and just throw it away. And let's go ahead and grab our quests or our stuff from this after we read the last little bit here. So finishing the helm, the last phase is to take your helmet back to the anvil and work it to a finished helmet. So I did that. We're going to claim our reward of 8 native copper. So in the advanced weapons, we had nothing after the javelin, so we're going to take our 8 native copper here as well. And then in the bronze, we have all of this completed now. And so we'll take our 8 native copper here as well. So that's kind of nice. We got a bunch of copper out of that. And where have I been putting the copper? Here. So let's go ahead and drop that in there. And now we have, for the first time, a piece of armor. Yay! Armor! I can't see. Who would design a helmet like that? Oh, I can see a little bit. Well, I'm going to see what quests we can do next, and I will be back. So next up, we are going to do the Moonshine quest. It can blind you. Oh. So you'll need a bottle, just a regular bottle, because 2 bottles that are exactly the same is silly. So we need to make a glass bottle. Now, in order to make glass, we just put sand into the forge. Very simple. It will turn into glass quite quickly, actually. And so that's all that we need there. I'm also reheating an iron bloom so that we can do that. But let's see, at what temperature do these change to glass? We're high end to very hot. I think it's right after this. No? There we go. So they just have to hit dark red. But so to make a glass bottle, vanilla crafting recipe. So 3 pieces of glass for 3 bottles. There we go. Now take a quaff. Brewing alcohol must be done in a barrel. You'll need 4 ounces, no longer 4 to 12 ounces per bucket of fresh water. We've changed it to only this to reduce confusion. So that is 40 ounces per barrel. Let that sit until you have your booze. Remember, if you don't have an output message, something is wrong. Just right-click and open barrel with a bottle or use the GUI. So we have a barrel of water here that will be worked down here in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go over here. I put up this huge wall of chests because storage is getting really muddled over here. But we have, that's protein. So in here we have our grain stuff. So they all have decay on them. So let's see here. What do we want to use? how about this? We will use some sugarcane that I picked up rather than using our grain. So let's take the decay off of that. We have 159 ounces. Oh, really? That does not work. So I've got to try to get this to exactly 40 ounces, and that is not going to work very easy. So I will be back in just a little bit, even if I have to go out and get some more sugarcane. Well, that is really worthless. So I put an entire stack of sugarcane into this barrel, and I get 16 ounces of sugar. But I guess we'll go with this. So 16 ounces of sugar should turn 4 buckets of water into rum. So we can see that's going to work. I have another stack of sugarcane. So I might as well just put this into another one of these. We'll be able to make a little bit more rum. But that is really pathetic. So this is going to take some time to run through and turn into rum. I think it's quite a bit longer than usual. But the next step in the quest book is actually going to be vinegar. And for vinegar, we need fruit. So I have not found any fruit really in this area, but we are just about to the time period of the year where apples will be able to be harvested. We're towards the end of early autumn. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to head north, trying to find some forests and try to collect some apples up there. Of course, I'll have to clean my inventory out for that. But I think I'm going to do that in a live stream. So I guess I'll hope to see you guys there. So we had a fairly successful live stream. Managed to get a little bit of fruit. Got 2.5 stacks of peaches here, which need to be redone here. But I also found a whole bunch of fruit trees up here in the north. Marked all of those out because we're going to have to be going back in autumn and late autumn to get more fruit up here. So we have some apples. Those will be harvested in autumn and late autumn. We have some oranges, which will be harvested in late autumn, and then we have some olives that will be harvested in autumn. So I'm going to have to make 2 trips up here or time it just right to where I can be up here when there's the transition. But yeah, that's going to be pretty soon because I think, yeah, we're just about the end of early autumn here. But so we're going to continue on with the quests here in the quest book. And the next thing that we have is to grab a bottle of this rum. And, oh, yeah, that's right, gotta do that. And so, let's go ahead and get in here. We have one quest with an unclaimed reward, and it's the moonshine one. So, yeah, we already read that, so that's going to give us 16 glass bottles. Go ahead and claim that reward. Next up we have vinegar. What a waste of good booze. To make vinegar, you'll have to ruin a perfectly good barrel of booze. Just add 10 ounces of fruit per bucket of booze. So 100 ounces per barrel. Seal and let it sit until you have vinegar. Grab a bucket to complete the task. So that is going to use a lot of my fruit. So we can place this rum back in there, which is not a problem. But now we need, for 40 millibuckets, we need 40 ounces of fruit. So let's go ahead and remove our decay, and then we'll cut this up into some 40-ounce chunks, or at least a 40-ounce chunk. And then I'm also going to, right now, set up the other for the, got a little bit of barley grain here, or barley flour here, that we're going to make a couple more buckets of beer. Yeah, I think it's beer out of. So 40 ounces of grain into the water, seal it, we'll get beer. So that's that, and then we'll take our 40 ounces of fruit put it in here and seal it, and we get vinegar. Now, it used to be that you could dump in a whole stack of fruit and it would just waste the excess fruit. The way that they have it set up now, you have to have exactly the right amount of fruit for the amount of alcohol in here. So that kind of sucks, but this is going to be a time game now as we wait for this alcohol to be made and the vinegar to be made. So I'm just going to let that sit, and I'll be back in just a little bit. So we have our vinegar completed, so I'm going to grab a bucket of that. And now we're going to get an extra bucket of vinegar from this, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and claim that reward. And our next one up is brine. Preservation. 9-to-1 all the brine. Just mix 9 buckets of salt water into 1 bucket of vinegar to make some brine. So what we need to do here, I am going to empty out one of these buckets, and I went and grabbed a bucket of salt water out of the ocean, so there we go. And then we'll just drop that in there, and there we go, a barrel of brine. So I think we needed a bucket of that, so there we go. Oh, well, okay. Bucket of salt water and a bucket of vinegar. I don't have time. Bucket up the brine to complete this task, which I've already done. Brining is the first step in food preservation. On its own, it doesn't help, but you'll need to brine food in order to pickle and smoke it. Smoking? That's something new. I haven't done that before. It is too complex to explain here. Please visit the TFC wiki for more details. Bonus tip. For a little bit of leftover brine, use empty barrel or large vessel as a bucket to consolidate it. Just right click to scoop up or pour out. And I have done plenty of that. So this is going to give us a bucket of vinegar. That's kind of nice. So we still have a few quests to take care of here. The cheese we're not going to be able to do for a while because I've got to get some cows down here for that. This energetic Coke, I'm going to take a look at that one, see if we can figure it out. And the loom, I still have yet to find any sheep, so that doesn't work too good. But I think what I'm going to do at this point is see how much time we've got in the episode, and I will be back in a little bit. Well guys, I guess this is just going to be a bit of a shorter episode today because, yeah, I'm waiting on the beer. That's going to be a long wait, and also it is now autumn, so I need to be heading north to go and gather up that fruit. So we'll look at the pickling process in the next episode. Hopefully I will have enough fruit to actually make a decent amount of vinegar for that. And also I forgot to mention, I did find some silver up here. If we go over to the ores group, we do have silver up here, so I'll probably do a little mining of that because we are going to need that for quite a few things. And I also found tungsten, so that's kind of an interesting one. But yeah, we've got plenty of stuff that I need to do between episodes. And so I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on, be sure to leave that down in the comments. Don't forget about Patreon. The link is in the description, and I will see you next time. Bye!